Hey, what's good, people? We are back. Finally at home for a day, a few days.
Hola.
Then I'm back on the road. I'll be back on the road. So with that being said, I'll talk about my endeavors shortly. Let's talk about the important people. Starting, of course, with Steph and Lynn. How have you all been?
Great.
Yeah.
Y'all pulling President R.L. Brown on me? Is that what y'all just did?
No, it's a crazy week because it's the end of the month and it's a holiday weekend. So it's been crazy getting things locked down this week. But you know,
we actually just got honored. Tell them about it.
You tell them. I don't know where you going. Go ahead, baby.
Okay, so it's local, but we got recognized for being one of Houston's top 10 power couples. But as we always like to say, the power comes from above and from within. Okay, so but it was actually a proclamation. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
See, I don't know where she's going. Only she knows where she's going.
And it was signed by the city of Houston government, the state.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
That's happening.
Yeah.
I still can't even hold it straight. Okay, like that. They spelled our name creative way. Never seen it spelled like that. M-Y.
Oh.
My dearest.
My dearest. Man.
I was like, oh, this legit.
Yeah, I love that. Congrats to y'all for that.
Thank you. We were excited, and yeah, it was Roaring 20s and casino night, and they were just asking us, about.
I won $12,000
with my
in
help.
casino charity casino chips.
And we ran out of time, so we didn't get to cash in our chips. But okay, all right. We didn't get to get our prize. And then this other couple that became fond of us, they gave us all of their chips not chips, but tickets because they had to go. But again, we didn't get a chance to cash them in, so I'm like, no. But it was really nice, and we got a chance to just talk to the people, and they asked about our story and everything, and they asked everybody their secrets, and yeah, it was a great night, and we learned a lot, and we met some great people, and again, we were one of 10 couples, so it was nice to see other couples in the room, and they were telling us how important it was for us to encourage marriage and, keep doing what we're doing so that we can keep the family alive.
For sure.
Who knew that was such a huge, it's a calling. It ain't just like, ooh, so fight for the family.
I love that.
That makes it so.
Yeah.
Now, Les, do you think I would have said all that?
No, not the same way. Absolutely not.
That's why I told her to say. She wanted me to say.
Yeah, it would have sounded different.
Like we was outside Saturday night. Had some drinks.
I'll send you a picture of our outfit.
Okay, yeah. I'd like to see it. So that's a good week. I'm Wig. Let's see how you've been there lately.
Yeah, Wig, where's your picture?
Reactions, including skill reactions.
You don't want to see that picture. I'm high, so you don't see that picture.
Well, there you go.
And I done went and got me some of the flavor Hennessy. Yeah.
Oh,
Look, all I gotta say is it can't be worse than what we saw last week, but okay.
No, but I'm doing good, man. I just we blessed. That's all I can say. We blessed, and we have to We have to count each day because, just say you blessed. As my grandma say, thank God for your problems because you can't handle nobody else's problems.
So
Yeah,
no.
that's the truth.
So
So
that's what I say.
I
But
can
I'm
dig.
good though, brother.
Good. And we'll get to Mr. President in a second because we know where he going with his, right? So I for the last few weeks I've been on the road doing what I do, and my sister is here with me. My sister and my niece, sister coming from Japan,
Mm.
and yeah, so she'll be here for the next week. Then she's gonna go visit some family, but just enjoying them and digging in. So yeah,
Is she gonna be on the podcast so we can meet her?
I can call her. I can call her down here.
Tell her to come on.
She was cooking, so she was making a salad. So I don't want to disturb her right now. Let me see. I'll send her a message after a while to have her hop on. But y'all will be seeing a lot of her soon as she starts her segments also, because we're gonna get her stuff squared up so she can start doing the psychology stuff.
All right.
What's her name?
So her first name is Jadawan, Jatauan. Just call it J. Yep.
That sounds like some Star Wars, like Taiwan. That's cute.
Yeah, African name, actual African name. At least that's how the story's told. So I have no other choice but to believe it. The person who named her that. She can't tell us anything otherwise anymore.
Right.
So, my mom gave her the name, and I'm riding out with the story she gave me. So, but yeah, so we're definitely gonna get her stuff started real soon because I'm excited for her to bring her dynamics to the network as well. So yeah. I was trying to wait for Mr. Brooks to hop on, and I'm sure he'll be getting on when we've passed the topic he wanted to actually talk about. Man, my
What topic was that?
delayed. The FIFA.
Oh,
He recommended covering FIFA.
I see Mr. President with that line. And what's up?
Killing it, sharp.
Our barber, we be going over and over about his.
He shop. You shop. You shop. I see that line.
I have to stay on my barber because he do what he want to do sometimes.
Your barber knows what's best. Your barber knows what's best.
No, you don't. I tell him how to get it right. No, you don't.
That was a compliment.
Huh?
I said that was a compliment. You all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I used to take lining and all that for granted growing up in Missouri. When I moved out west,
they don't know.
I have to, I'm not going to criticize black folks out west. I stopped doing that. Everybody has their own way of displaying their blackness. But when I say black folks, I'm probably referring to black folks of the South and not of the East or the West. Up north, I can refer to them.
Yeah, St. Louis is known for hair too.
I didn't know that.
Not just barbecue and Chinese food and all that, but yeah, hair and barbers too. Like they say, we got the coldest barbers.
I grew up with it and I never thought anything about it, but there's some truth behind that.
Yeah.
Took it for granted.
Well, Jay Glass, I got some FIFA comments if you need some.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and push into it.
Yeah, was having
push into it.
A conversation earlier today, and my belief is that a lot of people who have visited this country for the first time are going to overstay their welcome. Their
Every tasted the ribs here.
And we're gonna have more illegals
Stop.
in our country.
We're gonna have more.
Because that, like I've always said, that's the way most people become illegal.
Yes.
They initially have permission, and then they overstay. Student visa, travel visa, work visa, visa, whatever.
Barbecue,
And you know what's
barbecue,
funny about that? You know what's funny about that?
What's funny about that?
Because I know that's your belief. After I lived in Arizona 8 years, I have a different belief from what I was shown. But but you in Texas, so.
Oh no, I'm not just talking about Texas. Think about all the students.
Right.
Like, think about the Ivy students. Like, my uncle used to have 12 properties around the University of Pennsylvania, and they paid an arm and a leg and an extra foot.
Yeah.
When they for a Chinese family, for a Chinese student to stay in his property, they paid an arm, a leg, and an extra foot. And so I understand the overrun or whatever's going on in Arizona, but just think about all the universities, just the students,
right,
and then the work, and then the travel. That's how most people end up illegal in this country. It's not jumping over that fence or wall or tunneling under that Arizona desert.
So my experience in Arizona was way different than yours. And I know what I saw with my eyes. And I also know what happened when the INS would come through. So, which is, so when we talk about things publicly, and I never know who's watching me to see if I'm going to stay consistent, or who's watching me to see if they can catch me in something and then run and tell somebody. I don't know. So what I say publicly, I stand behind after doing research and my own personal experience. When you talk to people outside of a podcast, you ask them, do you really know about these situations? Can you go off record and have an off record conversation about certain things? Yeah, I can do that too. And so my experience with quote illegal immigration is a lot different. But everyone has their own personal experience. And so when we talk about this birthright citizenship, see, this is going to come up. All this is going to come up. So I don't want this time, I'm not going to be emotional. And I don't want to get people confused about those who overstayed, who came over here legally versus those who evaded going through the proper channels, whether they dug a tunnel or whatever, however they came over here illegally. That this is a violation of the, I think the USC 1325. That is a violation, excluding those who come over not through the ports, who evaded the customs, but they were seeking political asylum. Now they have a period of time to get their status. So sometimes when we've argued in the past, I wasn't clear and detailed, but I said tonight I will be, because this is. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was about to say we'll definitely get there, because that topic is going to be brooding. But let me ask the panel a quick couple of FIFA questions, and the first one is: has everyone who's been watching the games? Let me ask that, because I have been negligent. Oh man.
Yeah, I watch them every day.
It's something else. I got a question for y'all. Do they do anything to the people that foul the other people? They just let them play. I'll be like, he pushed him in the back with both hands and kicked him, and he's still playing. What's up with that?
I don't know the rules well enough. I don't understand how, if the game's supposed to be 90 minutes and then you do something wrong, then they add 2 or 3 minutes.
You don't understand extra time?
Yeah, that's stoppage time.
Nobody understands extra time. I think they just shake some dice at the end of the game.
I don't.
Here's your extra time. I've asked soccer and football junkies
experts. They be
to explain extra time to me, and they're like,
time.
"It's just extra time."
It's extra time. And then they be like, "Okay, the game's over." And you're like,
So I'm going to admit that I had a conversation with some people years ago when I lived in San Jose, and I came across as the angry black guy. I'll admit that. because I made some comments about our U.S. soccer team. You're not going to start doing well until you put some of us, get us out of football and basketball, and put us out on that field and give us some encouragement and bring the money.
Hey,
that was me being racially insensitive to other people, so I apologize for that.
Well, we are represented on every team.
Well,
if you noticed,
and I was
team. Every team got a black dude on it.
Almost every team.
Back in 2000,
almost every team.
Which one did?
Maybe Bosnia don't have a brother on it.
Argentina,
Norway.
We've
Sweden.
been watching it. Yeah, everybody got a little Korea. Damn.
Korea had a black goalkeeper.
Yeah,
I think in 2010 it wasn't quite like that. And I was at a household I was trying to talk to a lady. Oh God, I think she was Guatemalan. So everybody was speaking Spanish in the house, but me.
So you was trying to talk to her or have a conversation?
Both.
Ah!
Yeah. So I don't mind. So, they were like, no, it's not about a lack of African Americans on the soccer team. America doesn't produce, the type of soccer needed to win World Cups. And I kept saying to myself, just because you have those African teams and they're not winning World Cups, I'm sorry. When you have African Americans playing football and basketball, making that money, if there was that type of excitement and money and prestige in soccer, you would have more African Americans, not just the few that still continue to go into baseball in America. You would have more going into soccer. Now, I see them now. I didn't see them so much back in 2010. But like I said, I was wrong. I was probably the angry black man in the house saying, put more black boys out there and let's see what we get.
He was like,
and plus that World Cup was unwatchable because they had those damn buzzing noisemakers the whole tournament. You remember that in South Africa? Sound like a hornet's nest.
I had some Coronas in me, and I was looking around, saying stuff, and they looking at me, and then the girl looking at me like, "Okay, let this go." I'm like, "Okay, we let this go."
But you know what? Listen, I'm gonna be like this. You weren't. I don't believe you were angry. I think you were just speaking up for your peeps because you know how it is.
Because they were really rallying behind the teams, for all the teams actually. And what I said is America won't produce a soccer team where you're running, you need sprint, you need endurance, you need coordination to play soccer. I said, well, wait a minute. I know black folks can run. Oh, I know we can sprint. Oh, I know we got endurance. If we can do a crossover in basketball, we can hit a ball with a bat, and we can golf, then don't tell me we can't kick no soccer ball. Anyway, so, but there's more, I see more black faces now from all over the world, regardless of how they get to these countries, playing for like France, what's that guy, Mbappe?
Mbappe.
Thank you, Mbappe. So I guess he was born in France, and so he's playing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take anything away from who's the superstar in Argentina?
Messi.
Yeah.
And Mbappe is right on his heels. Couple goals away.
Now I still go back to Pele, but sometimes I feel like Pele, because he came on so early, it's so far back, and he was so great that sometimes
he's still the GOAT. He's still the GOAT.
Will always be.
From Brazil, and Brazil is known to create World Cup. But they have the most World Cups, them, and then Argentina.
Yeah, they got 5.
They got Right, you got this down. Go ahead. Yeah.
So only 8 countries have ever won it. Believe it or not. Yeah. And Brazil is one of them, and they've won it 5 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All we need is one, and we will never stop talking. Ish.
We'll be like at the Olympics again with cowbells.
Right.
USA.
Hey.
So it'd be greater than the hockey team back in the 1980 when we won the hockey. It'd be greater than that. Yeah.
On the global scale, yes.
You wouldn't be able to tell us anything. Not that you can tell us anything now. So, but
yeah.
France and Argentina, them bad boys.
So
yeah. I don't know if you've seen those videos though of people that are discovering America and losing their mind. discovering Walmart, discovering air conditioning, discovering ribs.
Air conditioning, ice.
Wait a minute. So when they were told to stay away from black folks, but you still come over here and end up being around black folks. Okay, I'm confused. I don't know. I don't know.
And they admit all the negative stuff that's out there about America.
Yeah.
The Australian dude was at a beach losing his mind, saying, "All I ever hear is bad stuff about America." He was ready to risk it all to stay. I could see it in his eyes. He said, "I ain't going that."
Well, not to get too political too quick, but remember now, if some people say they want to stay, they'll be allowed to stay.
Yeah, Aussies can stay. ICE ain't kicking down their door.
And the Irish can stay because they drunk the beer out the pub.
Well, and I'm biased. Look, I'm
Scottish.
I'm biased towards the Irish. I ain't gonna lie. I'm biased towards that country, not because I think that they are perfect people, but
which country?
Ireland. When England invaded Ireland and they took part of that Ireland and called it now Northern Ireland, I don't respect that at all. I'm for Ireland. I'm from Dublin. If it ain't Dublin, then don't talk to me about it. I'm not for Northern Ireland.
So you enjoyed Patriot games? The movie
Harrison Ford. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what it was about.
IRA.
Hold on, I remember that part. So if you're saying, do I support the IRA?
No. I said, did you enjoy the movie? That's it. I'm keeping it.
Okay.
I'm keeping it entertaining.
I would probably say that I do support the IRA, but then you talk
about. I may end up asking later. Do y'all support the polygamists? I'm kidding.
I'm starting to watch that, but that's a whole other.
We're due set.
Maya and I started looking at that, and
what show was that on? What station was that on?
It was. What she say, Jay Glass?
We had to stop watching it for a second because one of her kids was there, and we were just getting into it.
Where's this
at? Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
So, what have you all seen or witnessed when it comes to the games? Have the games been fair? Have they been horribly biased? Can you tell who's going to win as they are approaching and getting ready to start the game, or are you able to call it sometime during the game? Or because I've heard a couple of things about a couple of different teams that hasn't been a good look, but I haven't watched the whole.
Well, there've been a couple of upsets. Germany losing. Who else lost? The Netherlands. So some European teams have gone down to some African teams.
Yeah.
Like Morocco, did their thing.
Yeah.
Now Morocco is a dark horse to me because they won the whole. There was a what do you call it? A tournament for the continent of Africa.
Yep.
Morocco won that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they are the top African nation.
African nation.
In the World Cup. And I've never watched so many World Cup matches than this time.
So I listened to all the hype that Colin Cowherd did for the USA. He's carrying the water. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they went right out and lost in the last minute to
Turkey. I'm sorry, Turkey.
Yeah, it's delayed, Jay Glass. It's delayed.
Oh, so wait, you're supposed to be playing tonight, right?
They're playing right now.
Okay, so
they're up 1-0 over Bosnia.
They're up 1-0. Okay,
second half.
So that's good. So my thing is, don't overhype this team. Give them support, but don't overhype them. And let's see how far they can go.
Oh, no, that's what I was saying, because their first two matches, both times they got the other team kicked the ball in their own net.
Oh.
Twice. Oh. And you can't count those. I wouldn't count those if I'm the coach. Like, you didn't kick it in the net. The other team accidentally kicked it in their net.
Right.
Whatever big head you got from those two victories, shrink it a little bit. Because it happened twice.
My problem is when they're playing soccer, and you get knocked down and you have to hop up all emotional, yes, somebody's going to knock you on your ass.
No, you don't hop up, Richard. You ride on the
lay
couch.
down.
Yeah, you like, you know how cops say, I fear for my life. This yeah, that'd be
I hear you.
like,
I hear you.
I'm dying. This is the end of my life. And then 2 seconds later, they playing.
They're up.
You'd be like, I thought you was dead.
There was a dude I thought that he was going to go to the morgue, and when he didn't get no card, he just popped right back up, and he was out there, doing his thing.
But all of them should get an Oscar for the performances.
Exactly. They are the biggest performers in sports I have ever seen.
He wanted to talk about flopping.
I was just about to say
Yeah.
Flop City. What's his name? Fisher? Derek Fisher?
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek Fisher was the king of that, in my opinion.
Well, they call LeBron LaFlop.
And so, but like this right here, Derek Fisher could touch
It's almost showing you a clear double standard when flops in football, you hit me too hard, or in basketball, you hit me too hard. We call that flopping, but when the soccer players do it because it's an international sport, then it's okay. It's acceptable.
No,
it's not okay. We're all looking at it like, dude, get up.
Punk, get up.
If falling on the ground and writhing in pain was a drinking game while you're watching soccer, you'd be drunk.
Yeah.
By halftime.
Before then, and like the way that they grab that one knee, it's like, to me, they be stretching. They be stretching their glutes. They be like, knee be up here. They be like, and then they have everybody.
I still can't understand. They cut it off at half, 45 minutes. Okay, I can understand that. So we got 45 minutes to go. But when they start doing these yellow and red flags and adding time, and then they're talking, I'm like, what is?
Don't forget hydration breaks.
I like the hydration breaks because it's hotter than fish grease. It's just hot, and look at him. That ain't us. That's
Bosnia.
That's
He's pounding the ground.
He pounding the ground like he in labor. He in labor.
Straight hurting. And that's the thing that gets me. Their antics are absolutely ridiculous to me.
But that's the game.
That is the game.
That's the game.
But if you watch that show from years ago where they were talking about all the corruption with the
refs.
No. With the FIFA. Oh God! Wait.
Exactly.
Do I have this confused with the IOC? Do I have it confused?
No. FIFA was corrupt. They was taking money, taking payments.
Well, the World Cup was in Qatar a couple of years ago, right?
Qatar.
So
Qatar.
It's either or. It's not like.
So I think James Glass wants us to call him Qatar.
It is
Qatar.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Qatar, but they not me. They prefer.
When they had that Amazon Prime about all the corruption in the documentary.
Oh, he's so fake.
When you saw that, I said, if you can't, is soccer that serious that you're going to have this much corruption over which country?
The answer is yes.
Awarded the world?
Gets the World Cup.
Me, all of the above.
Okay.
Multi-billions of dollars going.
How much money?
But the
how much power? Like FIFA, no stadium can have its name right now. Like normally it'd be NRG Stadium. It's Houston Stadium.
Yeah.
SoFi Stadium out in LA is Los Angeles Stadium or maybe Inglewood Stadium, but it's not SoFi Stadium
because they don't want to get that name recognition.
Nope. It's all FIFA owns this whole thing.
Yeah.
Tickets, schedules.
Now,
naming rights, all that stuff.
So this is what upsets me about this. Not about that. So in the NFL, the owner said we can't afford to put natural grass in. Okay? But anytime the World Cup comes to your stadium, you will have natural grass. You will not be playing on turf. So that came up for a hot moment, and then they quickly, brushed it aside. And that goes to show you the power that when the World Cup says you're going to have grass, we ain't playing on no turf. We don't care what you got to do. If you think we're coming to your house to play, you will put in grass. So money is never the issue with the World Cup. So I found that very interesting when someone brought that up and some of the athletes were talking about that. Okay. So,
but Richard, because I'll tell you, I've been to your stadium and they roll the grass out.
Which
The
one?
building. Oh, and
St.
where the
Louis?
Cardinals.
Oh, wait, in Arizona?
Yeah, where the Cardinals play. That that's natural grass, and they roll that. They got a whole mechanism. Like one of the end zones totally opens up, and they just roll that whole grass out there.
No. Doesn't Jerry have grass in his stadium in Dallas?
He does not.
He does not. Okay, that was
It's in there right now, and right now it's 95%. There is a 5% artificial turf. That's why it's not kicking up like a bad golfer on a golf course.
And guess what? A little slice of heaven is under there because them players be bouncing. They be like shoot, 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 and it's just so cushiony. It's ridiculous. You can see the cushion from anywhere in the stadium, and it just feels like everybody's on a cloud.
Them boys can't be out there getting bad knees, playing on concrete.
I'm like, how can we get some of that in here? Because dang, it's beautiful.
But the Texans have flirted with real grass.
So I didn't know that
it's hard
the
to
stadium
even 10 games for a 10-game season. It's hard.
Well, you're saying the Arizona Cardinals at that stadium in Glendale, they can roll out the natural grass. Now, when they first started doing all these big stadiums, that was one of the big things. Would you do turf or would you do natural grass to protect the athlete? And they always said that doing that natural grass was too costly. So I'm surprised that the Bidwells went on, I bet they didn't pay for it, went on to pay for that natural grass. And I'm stopped there.
So, Wig, you had a couple of things you were talking to me about earlier about what's going on in FIFA. Weigh in on that, man.
No, I don't know. I look at what's going on in the world today about how they talk about immigrants this and immigrants that. I'm looking at black players on countries that I know are racist.
Yup, throwing bananas during the game.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just for years.
Sweden and all these places, I know they don't like us over there, but it's like they can't win without us. And then I'm looking at some of the African nations, some of the African countries just getting railroaded. They completely railroaded Haiti.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
That was crazy. And then I looked at, I think Republic of Congo lost today.
Morocco versus Haiti. That was the problem.
Yes. And then you look at what Argentina gets away with. So, I started watching soccer when I was in Germany because I didn't know soccer was such a, was big around the world. I only knew American football, me being so ignorant like that. But now I watch it now, and you can see. At the end of the day, I hope anybody win by Argentina. I just learned that is the most racist country. This is one of the countries that voted against.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the three countries.
One of the three countries, including the United States.
Well, Mr. Wig, now remember, a lot of times when I talk about the conspiracy stuff and people laugh, remember that big conspiracy that Hitler and a lot of his top brass escaped Germany and they went to Argentina. Now that's just a big old conspiracy from the conspiracy people.
Yeah. I mean,
when you look at some of these people who were in Argentina who came from Europe, you may find that some of those people came from Germany during that particular time where, some Germans, because I'm not going to slander Germans, some Germans were racist. Some.
And I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest with you. But when you purposely breed out black people.
Oh, you heard about that story in Argentina? That's historical. Okay.
Yes. How they got rid of black people?
Okay.
That is you can't tell me that it's nothing else but racism. Point blank in the store, full stop. Everybody go home, turn the mic off.
So Wig, you pulling for Brazil?
No. I honestly I don't care. Honestly, I don't care now because I want the Republic of Congo to win.
Yeah, they lost.
Okay.
And they lost today, so I wanted them to win. So now I'm just watching it just to watch it because I'm just into it. But I really want Congo to win.
Look, they had a good run. They hadn't won ever.
2 years.
No, ever.
Oh, okay.
They hadn't been in it for 52 years.
And they was up 2-0.
Matter of fact, they never scored a goal.
Jeez.
Right, and they was up 2-0.
Yeah.
Over who?
England.
England.
England came back today and beat them?
Uh-huh.
So, but that's what I think about that right there. As far as the 14th Amendment, I got a couple of things I want to say on that one too, but I'll wait till we get there.
Oh,
Well,
I got to say on that. You know, I'm
Steve,
Man, show your face, man. Come on.
huh? Oh, she was Mr. Wig to show his face.
Join us.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
It's how you doing today? All right, now we know it's not AI. I'm kidding.
Damn. Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and talk about the Supreme Court's ruling over the 14th Amendment. So just to give a quick overview as to what's happened here recently, the Supreme Court of the United States recently, long story short, said that the United States Constitution and immigration, that it's enforcing essentially, or it's agreeing with the way the Constitution lines out birthright citizenship. Exactly how the Constitution reads it. If you are a person essentially who were born to immigrants but on American soil, you are an American citizen. And the odd thing about that is that the court was split. It was a 5-4 decision, and with unlikely partners who agreed with the actual furthering of how the 14th Amendment's right now. I don't think it's noteworthy to celebrate just yet, because I don't think we're out of the woods. But I'll get back into that part of it a little bit down the road. So we will jump into the Supreme Court's ruling on the 14th Amendment. And I know, Rich, I got you. We're going to start with you because you got some shit to get off your chest. I see it in your face.
So I can go back and forth on this. First thing is, the court, like you said, 5-4. But the 14th Amendment was written for Black folks, period. That 14th Amendment was written to repudiate the Dred Scott case. And that 14th Amendment gave Black folks, whether they were coming out of slavery or if they were already free, it gave them national citizenship, period. That cannot be disputed. Now, what's being disputed is over the view of if a person's here in the country illegally and they have a child, if two parents come here and have a child, do they still get that birthright citizenship, falling back to that ARC case? Oh God, the name's on my tongue. ARC, from back in 1898. And so that's the legal precedent for the citizenship. I sent that text to y'all right away about Justice Thomas. I've yet to see Justice Clarence Thomas ever say anything on behalf of Black folks in all his years on the bench. But this time he did, in a way, in a sense. When he said, quote, "The court takes the extraordinary step of holding facially unconstitutionally the president's order excluding from citizenship the children of foreign temporary visitors and illegal aliens." Then he goes on to say, in doing so, the court adds to the sad history of the 14th Amendment, which was designed and understood to secure rights for free Blacks, but instead then repurposed for political projects that the Reconstruction Congress did not support. We all know that the 13th to the 15th Amendments were meant for us, coming out of slavery, and along with free Black folks who are already free in some states. Those three amendments, which the Democratic Party and every Black civil rights lawyer, when they go running talking about so-and-so got hurt, and their due process because of the 14th Amendment. So the 14th Amendment was due process, and it was also the citizenship for Black people coming out of slavery, and also for Blacks who are already free. That was not meant for no one else. So on this particular matter, in this particular case, the Republicans are actually telling the truth if you take a very narrow view of this case. Because even with the ARC situation, Chinese man, born to Chinese parents here in San Francisco. But the Chinese parents were immigrants, but they weren't allowed to be citizens yet. But they were here legally because they were immigrants. They didn't come over here illegally. So when he went to China and came back, and they said, "No, you can't come back. You're not an American." He said, "No, I was born here on this U.S. soil," and that's what started that birthright citizenship, that case there. But those parents were here legally, and so what the Republicans are really saying, in a sense, if you come over to this country illegally and pop out a child, two illegal people, and then you say we get the 14th Amendment for birthright citizenship, that's not what it was intended to do.
Well, here's the question. Here's the question. Where in the 14th Amendment does it say that this amendment is specifically for the descendants of the enslaved Africans?
You walked right into it. You walked right into it. And I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad that you brought that up because you walked right into it, Mr. Glass. Because now that you said that, let me go to the 13th Amendment, okay?
I said the 14th Amendment.
No. Because the 13th, 14th, and 15th
The
Amendment.
audience needs you to answer the question first.
I am going to answer it, but I'm starting with the 13th first because we all know the 13th Amendment ended slavery for Black people in America. We all understand this as a historical fact. So the 13th Amendment, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall be duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, or any place subject to the jurisdiction. So even though, well, I'm gonna get to the 14th, but let's start with the 13th, because the 13th does not say Black people, Mr. Glass. So when you get to the 14th, it reads something similar, because it doesn't talk about Black people in particular, but we know that the 14th was written to repudiate the Dred Scott case, to give us our citizenship in this country. That's undeniable. In fact, let me go to this other tab here where I have this, where it talks about where the two sides agreed that there was no dispute that the 14th Amendment was to repudiate the Dred Scott case about giving Blacks citizenship in this country after the Civil War. So even though it does not say particularly of African American or Black or slave or African descent in the 14th Amendment, the 13th starts it, then the 14th continues behind it by saying slavery is over, it's no longer constitutional except for crimes if you're convicted for involuntary servitude. And then the 14th says, now that you're free and you have no political allegiance to anyone, because you didn't come to this country as an immigrant, we got to give you citizenship. And then we got to give you due process because of the Jim Crow laws that the Black codes they enacted in the South immediately after the Civil War. Then comes the 15th. So not only do we have to give you citizenship in the 14th to repudiate the Dred Scott case and give you due process because of the racism you're going through, we got to make sure that Black men are able to vote with the 15th Amendment. And that's in addition, these three amendments were in addition to the 1866 Civil Rights Act, the very first one.
So again, and I appreciate the historical synopsis over 13th, 14th, and 15th, and I'm not disagreeing with you in its entirety with what you said. But according to the Supreme Court in their ruling, as they adjudicated that the 14th Amendment
I was going to say
is to apply the way it reads,
right?
Where in the 14th Amendment is it making a special case for the descendants of the enslaved Africans?
Because we already know that it's understood on the 13th and 14th and 15th Amendment that those were amendments for Black people. That's clearly understood. And that's why it says here, quote, the majority and the dissent agreed that the 14th Amendment was enacted to reverse Dred Scott and secure citizenship for formerly enslaved people and their descendants.
And so now the question would become, if that's the case, why weren't the 13th, 14th, and the 15th amendments pushed to the Supreme Court to argue against birthright citizenship?
Because the birthright citizenship is only in the 14th. The 13th was about ending slavery. The 15th, ironically, about giving black men, because the women didn't get their right to vote, regardless of their color, until 1920, the 19th Amendment. But the 15th Amendment said the right of citizens of the U.S. to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the U.S. or by any state on account of race. They made this clear: race, color, or previous condition of servitude.
And so,
okay, go ahead.
if they were able to put specific language in the 15th Amendment, why couldn't they put specific language in the 14th Amendment?
And I'm gonna tell you why, in my opinion, why they didn't do that. Anytime we've talked about slavery, we've seen white people come on here in the comments and say there's been slavery all across the earth. And you've seen me go off about the special type of slavery that existed in this country.
Right.
If you were to go and put this into the amendments to show all the hatred that you did, that you had to have a civil war over African or enslaved Africans or enslaved blacks, then you're putting it into your constitution by an amendment, and you're being clear cut about we had to have a civil war to free you. They did not want to go that route because they may have not have gotten the Congress 2/3 in both houses and 2/3 of the states at that time to ratify it. And that's why they didn't put that in there, because when you put that in writing in your constitution and it's so clear cut that you can't second guess it, and you don't need a judge or Richard Lewis Brown to explain it to you, or you don't need a lawyer. Now it's too clear cut. And in my opinion, that's why they didn't put that in there like that. So when people say these types of, I'm sorry.
No, I was about to just say, let me read the 14th Amendment, Section 1, one of the actual section that was under a lot of scrutiny,
Okay.
just to be clear. And this is just for viewership's sake. People on TikTok can't see the screen, so I'm reading it off for them just to let them know that we're actually citing the source. It's this is constitution.congress.gov, the 14th Amendment, Section 1, which starts out by saying, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. I just want to read that part real quick, and I'll pull that screen down. Okay, so Wig, weigh in. Where are you at with this ruling?
First off, the U.S. just scored a undermanned goal, so we're up 2-0.
Yeah.
That's an undermanned goal. We were down a whole man too. But here's where I am with this right here. Listen, this whole thing is about who gets to define what American is. In America, what American supposed to look like. All right, because and when people say, immigration and they're taking away from the country and they're not giving anything to the country, just think about this. What immigrant voted to keep your wages low?
Yeah.
What immigrant voted to keep your health care high?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever heard of immigrants having a lobby group up on Congress to vote to lobby anybody? The problem is this: the rich people spend a lot of money to ensure that the people that's poor have somebody to point down there to that's poor, if that's a word. They have to give you somebody to look down on so that you don't look up and see that those are the people that's actually taken from you. That's how I see that right there. They can care less about those people. They just want just keep looking at the people that we tell you to look at. While the people that's telling you not to look, they're retiring with health care. Their kids are going to public school. I mean, to private schools.
Mr.
So-
Wig. But Mr. Wig, I want to ask you a question real quick. When I've heard other black people tell me, Richard, we feel like the gay community has hijacked our rights. That's how some black folks feel. So when they did the 14th Amendment to give black folks citizenship in this country, because we didn't come over here as immigrants, and then when other people say, well, if I come over here and even though I'm not legally, if I have a child, that child gets birthright citizenship because of the 14th Amendment. In a sense, that's kind of hijacking what enslaved Africans went through in this country.
But here's what I say to that.
Hold on, Wig. Let me. I got to go back a little bit because I've not heard many people say LGBTQIA have hijacked our rights. I've heard them say they've hijacked our movements, the Civil Rights Act.
Okay.
But I haven't heard many black people say that they've hijacked our rights. Now I could be wrong. I ain't heard all of them say,
Right. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
And plus, we know the truth, so it's like okay.
Exactly. But who's benefited most off of our backs? At the end of the day, in my opinion, white women.
Wait a minute. So you beat me to my next point. You beat me to it, Mr. Wig. I was going to say some black folks, including Mr. Glass, has said with all the affirmative action and DEI hires that white women have benefited more than black folks. And Mr. Glass has said this repeatedly for the last year and a half. Mm-hmm. So all I'm simply saying, and even when I see La Marie on here saying we came over as property, that's a tremendous point. Tremendous point. We're considered humans. So when we start to be recognized as being human beings in the 14th Amendment, because human beings get citizenship, because now we're human beings, we're no longer property. Great point, La Maria. Go ahead, Mr. Wig.
But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, Glass. But at the end of the day, this is all I'm saying. You don't have an immigrant problem. We have a wealth problem. That's what you have. You have a wealth problem. And that wealth problem
we have a greed problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with wealth, but there's greed and misappropriation of finances and funds and greed.
And I'm not even going to say misappropriation because they know where they wanted to go. But at the end of the day, you can't satisfy greed.
Nope.
And the people at the bottom that have somebody to point down to haven't realized it yet, because the people at the top, the immigrants aren't the one that's putting on data centers in your backyard, ruining your water. You know, the immigrants aren't the one that's basically telling you that you can't grow food in your own backyard.
You know what, Mr. Wig? We're all saying the same thing then. We're just saying it a little bit differently, because it was greed in the chase of wealth, the pursuit of wealth, that brought over my ancestors as slaves. So it was that chase of wealth, that chase of greed. So the slavery of that time period, are we being updated to the AI of this time period, where AI is going to take away jobs from the middle class and the working poor? I don't know.
I think they want the people. I don't think they. Me, be honest with y'all, I think they don't mind the people. They want the culture. They want the ideas from the people, but they don't want the actual people. That's what I think. I'll take everything that you know in your cultures and your food and your music, but I don't want you here.
Right.
That's what I think.
Experiencing that, since the beginning. So yeah.
And you right, ma'am. We've been experiencing it. They just trying to catch up to where we at. We already know. I feel like when you come to this country, you should have to talk to black people before you go anywhere. So
you know what? They are amazed when they come here and then learn of our history. Because, America, from a lot of Latin American countries, it's the gringos. And then when you come over here, I remember meeting different people in college and, about from different places. And they're just thinking about Caucasian people. And then when they find out, once they get over the lies of the black people just sit around and complain all the time, that we actually have a history. And when they find out what what we've been talking about our history and what has happened to us, and different things like that. Then all of a sudden they're like, "Wow!" Like they didn't know.
And I think
America's like a blanket statement, and people just, I think, from other countries, for the most part, just think that it's Caucasian people.
I think the crazy part about it is, honestly, is that they come over here expecting to be, they expected, and they did in their heart of hearts expect to be treated equally.
They do.
They do, and then when it doesn't happen, they're like truly surprised. They're like, okay, why do you treat me like this? I agree with you about this, and this, but they don't know that I don't care about you either.
And then when they start interacting with people who already done been there, done that, look, know how to act, know what it is, then they're like, oh. But before then, like you were saying, having to have somebody to blame, at least I'm not like them. It's like, how are we?
Right.
How are we? At least I'm not like them. You think that you're above them, meaning us. And we're just like, okay, we're going to let you do that.
You know what? That thing about blame, that's a very key word. Because America does have a history of wanting to blame minorities for its problems. If you go back to the 1930s with the quote, Operation Wetback, Mexicans born in this country who were sent back to Mexico. So America does have a racial problem.
I'm sorry. Also the wet foot, dry foot here in Florida. If the Haitians made it on land, they sent them back to Haiti. But the Cubans got the states.
Because the Cubans want to be. Well, hold on. This is my opinion. Hold on. This is my opinion. Some
very good.
Cubans want to be considered white.
Sure.
That's my
certainly not the Afro-Cuban, but yep. Mm-hmm.
Especially in Florida. So, Lynn, you've been pretty quiet lately. I've been waiting to see what you were over there thinking.
I've been told that I am in agreement with my wife. No, I got some stuff to say, but I expected this outcome.
Yeah.
Like I've been talking, this way with people who believe that Trump can do and say whatever it is he wants, but if you really go and look at it, the mission critical stuff, the court has not gone along with him. They gave you, and they didn't even give him transgender guys in sports. They gave that to the states.
They gave it to the states, yeah.
So he don't even get that W. But yeah, and the funny thing was listening to him sound like Richard saying that the amendment was for black people. That was the most hilarious part of his process to me. Oh, this is what you're gonna, this the hill you're gonna die on for black folks? This one? Because it gets you what you want?
Correct. That's correct. That's correct. Politically, that's correct. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised that the Supreme Court said no. I'm not. And and listen, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with, because we kind of had this discussion earlier today where somebody was telling a friend of mine that a MAGA person was telling a black friend of ours that the gay and the black thing is very similar.
Yeah, we should know how they feel.
And then he had to hold up his arm and say, you can't put this in a closet.
Yeah.
I'm black every day, all day. You can be a homosexual and keep it from the world.
Lynn?
And if you do that, how are you benefited?
Now, Lynn, here's the funny thing about this. I agree with Lynn on this. But I also kind of agree that blacks and the gay community do have some similarities. But you know what's funny?
Discrimination. They've been discriminated against. Yes, that's their similarity.
But you know what's funny about, when you see us as black folks, you see us. We can't change our last name.
Oh.
Can't change our hair texture, Mr. Glass. See. And so when we say that we have a blessing from God, people know we got a blessing because you see us coming. No. You didn't catch what I was saying about the hair texture. I can't change my last name. I can't change my.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, Lynn, on what that black man said, that we are not the same, because some black people say we do have a lot of similarities about being discriminated against, like the gay community, and then some black folks say, hey, we are way different than the gay community. Don't come and try to hijack what we've been putting in work in to be treated with fairness and respect. So I actually see both sides on this.
Right.
But that,
you know what?
blame,
I'm okay with them benefiting from our
Yeah,
struggle.
the benefit, but like again,
somebody had to be, somebody had to be first.
Yeah, and
So
it's
I'm okay
okay.
with it.
And look, that's what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I mean, it was inclusive, but we were the ones in the line of fire on the the front line.
Yeah, we were first.
Yeah,
But look, everybody can benefit from it. I'm okay with that.
but
Yeah.
it's not the same.
That's the part. You still gotta delineate.
Yeah.
We not the same.
Yes.
But
Yes. Similar is not the same. There is a delineation between the two, and they have distinct definitions that point out that delineation. And so I don't agree that there should be automatic comparisons. What I do think, however, is like what y'all have already expressed, both groups, we can empathize with one another. Pain is pain regardless of how it's dealt out and who's feeling it at the end of the day. And that's the human part of it. We can feel somebody. We've experienced pain, and so we understand the physical, emotional, spiritual process that goes along with that experience of having pain, right? And they've experienced a different type of pain, but at the end of the day, it's still pain.
It is.
Now, the question that I have is this the right decision from the Supreme Court? And if it is, will it stop here, or is there a continuation that you all see coming?
I think he's going to keep fighting for this because win or lose, it helps him. It helps his cause, his us against them, his victimhood, his thing about being persecuted. It helps all of those arguments that he makes.
And him trying to look like he for the people.
No, right, like he's trying to be America first. No, you're not. You're trying to, you're trying to say that you're fulfilling a promise that you made, but the promise that you made was to get the bad folks out, and y'all picking the low hanging fruit. The people that ain't done nothing to nobody for 20 years, they getting out. They getting kicked out. And you sending them, not only you sending them out of the country, but you're sending them to other countries that they have no ties to, and they're going to prison.
And he can legally do that. And that's the thing that I thought was crazy, that it's written in the law he can do that. And I said, who wrote that kind of law? Because that's crazy. Now I feel like I'm Native American. Not only am I angry black, I feel like I'm Native American. One minute the white man says this, and then the next minute the white man says this. Is this a forked tongue? I don't know. So when you ask me, is this the right decision?
The smallpox blankets and what was it? What was the other thing? It's all the way in it's that history's in our museum now of natural what is it? The Arch of Natural Resources. What is it? What's the name of our museum at the Arch?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know.
Oh, we're talking about St. Louis.
St. Louis. Oh yeah.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's been revamped big time, and all kinds of truths are in there now where you going in there like, dang, I need to go in here.
Put that in St. Louis? They told the truth? They did?
Yeah.
The museum underneath the arch.
The art Westward Expansion, the Museum of Westward Expansion, they have totally gutted and revamped it, and now it is just truth bombs. It ain't nothing cute in there. It's just like, hey, yeah, this is what happened.
listen, when they gave the federal holiday for Juneteenth passed in Missouri, but it couldn't get passed in California, I just couldn't. I said, don't make the same white people that I know from back in Missouri, but I guess I'm wrong. I guess they've evolved
Listen,
to a degree.
Okay, so listen, it's just that it is evolving. We are not there yet. We are not there. I was so happy, like in a gut punch way, to see that they weren't just trying to be friends with the Indians. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you weren't.
So,
yeah. And they show you on maps where all the Native Americans were staying in America. They just tell the flat out truth. And it is so hard to swallow, even being on our side, to just think about the genocide of all those people, and then it blends into us.
So
just a little bit, but they start out with the natives.
So I'm going to go back to what he said. Do I think this is the right decision? No. You could have overturned precedent, because the precedent that they decided in 1898 with the Art case was determined incorrectly. So they could have overturned precedent. But here's the problem. I think Lynn was kind of alluding to this. For national security, if you had to overturn this citizenship, birthright citizenship, you would have had a crisis of an overwhelming standard. That's why when they try to keep Trump off the ballot, I said they can't. And they actually ruled that 9-0 to keep the country unified, because we was going to have a crisis. It was going to be a riot. So there are certain decisions they say they're applying the law. No, this is a political decision. But I'll end by saying this. When I talk about conspiracies, people have always laughed at me. So I'm watching on Elizabeth Vargas last night on News Nation about MK Ultra. Now, I knew about MK Ultra, the CIA program to give people LSD to see if they can control your mind, so they can control you to go out and kill people.
We won. Sorry.
Okay, good. So I knew about this back in the 90s, and it's just now making it to the TV screen about the MK Ultra. This thing about the open borders, once you don't control your border, and the Democratic Socialists want open borders, and they don't want local police. Once you do this, and you have open borders, then you're going to create a global society across all the earth. So you won't need an America or this or that. You'll have an open society, people be able to freely come and go as they please, and you just need a national ID, okay? That's one step towards the world government, by having an open border.
Let's pause there. If you don't mind. The question, because you mentioned a group that I wasn't going to mention tonight, but let's explore it a little bit. How many Democratic Socialists are there in the Democratic Party that hold a seat?
Not many.
No, are there any at the moment? Do you count? Are you counting Ilmar Oman or no? No. Three. Ilmar Oman.
AOC.
Okay.
AOC.
Is she a Democratic Socialist? AOC.
Yep, and Bernie Sanders.
Bernie.
I'm saying this because this is about to become a hot phrase that Republicans are about to begin to use for fear tactics.
It's a nothing burger.
It's a huge nothing burger. The Democratic Socialist Party is not a thing that's about to wield or yield power. How many? No. I'm not talking about you. Yeah, that wasn't towards you directly, but this is just putting it out there for future listeners. How many? And I'm gonna jump a step ahead. How many New York mayors have been the president of the United States of America?
In my lifetime, zero.
Absolutely zero. And I'm saying that to get ahead of the Mandami rhetoric that they're about to start spewing as well, because it's not a thing. The Democratic Socialist Party is not a group of people that are about to grab and hold any type of real power or influence. And you know why?
Right.
because people vote for their interests. If the Republicans are giving the people in the area the thing that the people want, the people will vote for the Republican. Generally
But we
speaking,
never, but the Republicans have never said this, and I didn't say this either. We never said the Democratic Socialist Party. We said there are Democratic Socialists within the Democratic Party who are trying to make a headway. But what I'm referring to is
I heard Johnson say.
You heard,
I heard him.
Oh, he said the Democratic Socialist Party. Oh, you
okay? Mike Johnson read it. He read it at a conference because he went to their webpage and he began to try and drum up the fear.
Okay, so, and you're not wrong on that. Here's what I'm saying about this one world government. In order to have a one world government, you can't have any borders. See, there's different ways to get the one world government established. One way is you can't have borders, you can't have countries defending their sovereignty. That's why that Brexit, when the people in England, a lot of people in England said, we don't want to be part of this euro, because Europe was going to get all on one financial currency. And once that happens, then it's just a matter of time, and it won't take long to get the whole world on one financial currency. And then once you take cash out of the system to where you can only buy stuff through a card, electronic card, now you're on one world government's platform. So if you can attack the border, we don't have borders. And then you can attack religion. We don't have no, this is what the Republicans are trying to do, that quote, put God back into everything. Once you can establish one world religion and you have no borders and one financial currency, it's showtime. It's a wrap.
How many times in the history of the world has the world come under one religion?
Zero.
In the history of the world, how many times?
Right.
Zero.
And they won't.
Zero.
We won't. Yeah, and we be allowed to see that at all.
It's impossible. It's impossible. As much as you evangelize and epistolize a faith, it's going to be impossible,
right,
for people to become globally one religion. And the reason why is because you can never know what a person is praying or who a person is praying to in their heart.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because it talks about this in the Bible. So once they create this cashless society where you cannot buy or sell without having that card, and that card's embedded, and once you get rid of borders, you've kind of already adopted the one world religion, whether you accept it or not. Whether you openly acknowledge this or not, you've already accepted that one world religion. If you believe in Revelations, that's a big if.
Right. And that's what I was about to say. There's a presupposition in there that the tradition, the biblical history, and the deity, as well as the pantheons inside of the deity, are relatable to everybody else. And I keep telling people, God, everybody's religious interest is for their own personal consumption. Just because a person believes in Allah doesn't mean that the consequences of Islam are my responsibility. Just because a person believes in Buddha doesn't mean that I'm going to be reincarnated at a later period in time. A person's religious aspects and their deity belongs to them, as well as that heaven or that hell and the consequences and actions in between.
You know what I see? I see someone on this podcast that when I yell 30 days in a month or 31 days in a month, they say, no, bro, it's 32. That's what I see. But that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and I got that. I'm saying that. Yeah, and I'm saying that because the United States of America, especially the Christian religion, has put a spin on the importance of religion in other traditions' lives. There are societies who don't really care if you have a deity or not. They don't. There are other cultures who eat, drink, and sleep by very ceremonious movements for worship of a deity. And so I'm not saying that I'm disagreeing with you. I'm simply saying if this was to be to for us to get into a global religion from where we are now, it seems more unlikely to happen than likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, not definitely not in our lifetime.
This is the trick that a particular party plays that both sides buy into. Crazy enough that we're going to scare people about something that is literally not possible.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
It's not possible.
No.
It's not possible in any feasible way to eliminate border. Is never ever going to happen, in my opinion, on a global scale.
Let me ask you this:
you might eliminate borders in certain, parts of the world.
So if they came out,
hold on, Rich. I'm sorry. Hold on. Go ahead, Lynn. Because I wanted to
globally. No, just like the same thing with religion. No, the same thing with cash. No, the world is, in my opinion, is never going to go to one form of currency, one form of religion, and no borders. Because to do that, you would now have chaos and anarchy from a power perspective. Because who would then be in charge with no borders, with no religion? Who's gonna get rid of the Pope? I mean,
another thing is like knowledge of a certain religion, which is what I think Rich was talking about. That can be, shared across the world. But if like people say, if 4 to 5 people, too many people to rob a bank, I can't see everybody being on one accord. And even if they were, think of Mr. President, the Tower of Babel. Okay.
Well, I mean, listen, information can be shared. What I'm saying is information will not be consumed by all. That's just you're talking about almost 200 nations eradicating their sovereignty, their borders, and giving it to who?
Another thing is, as far as having one religion, with the God that we serve, he doesn't want anybody made to do anything. That's supposed to be your choice and your will. So nobody is going, he doesn't want anybody forced.
So check this out. I remember talking to people outside the Black community years ago about how Black people were experimented on, and they laughed at me. They said, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
And then when the facts actually came out on paper, then they looked kind of silly. Yeah. I remember when people said that there was no such thing as aliens and this and that. And it seems like every day a new discovery is coming out about aliens and about alien aircraft. So when you talk to people, because the argument you're making is very rational, and I can't argue against what you're saying because it's a rational argument. I mean, I can make an argument against it, but I'm not arguing or talking about it in a rational faith. I'm in a spiritual plane talking. So when you go into the spiritual world, now God dictates the rational and the irrational. He dictates everything. Yeah. If you believe in God, if we go with that if.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go into the spirit world, from what I can perceive, if someone says, well, Richard, we're going to have long-term peace with Israel and its Middle Eastern neighbors, you will never have long-term peace. They said, well, why do you say that, Richard? You're arguing against hope for humanity. I said, no, I'm talking from spirituality. I'm not going against humanity. I'm talking about spirituality. They said, well, we don't believe like that. We don't believe like that. And I have to respect that. But if you ever think that Israel will have long-term peace with its Middle Eastern neighbors, that was never intended to be, period. So with that being said, some people said the world will come to an end because of Israel. Okay. But all these other things, and when they came out a few years ago on TV, and the guy said, I got a little company and we can put a chip in your forehead, and it can have all your medical information. So you don't never worry about losing your medical records or not having your medical records. If you get sick, someone can just scan it. And we can also put your financial information in that chip. He says, this is incredible technology. He says, I'm worried because I'm a small little company that the big companies are going to come and run me off the cliff and make all this money. Putting a chip in his hand. If you can put a chip in someone's hand, like you can put a chip in a dog so the dog never gets lost, you can chip somebody's forehead really quite that easily. So when people say, oh, well, Richard, that's too much. One minute you're too much conspiracy, Richard. One minute, oh, that's too much religion, Richard. So I'm either too much this, too much that, but I have no political party. I'm just a nobody walking around here, breathing air. And let Bill Gates have his way. He's already said the earth is overpopulated. He would do anything he possibly can to get rid of certain. I know it sounds crazy, but I had read this in one of the crazy books years ago that the powers that be, the elite, believe there's too many people on earth. We got to get rid of some people. And I said, well, I know they're getting rid of me.
They ain't been to Texas. Anyway, okay.
But I think that's a little bit of a different conversation than saying, I'll say it this way. Do you know who the chosen people of God are? If I asked you, who do you consider to be the chosen people of God? Not talking about skin color, but according to your belief, who would you say, Rich?
My belief or through my interpretation of the Bible? Which one?
The second one.
Through my interpretation of the Bible?
Yeah.
It has to be the original children of the Garden of Eden. And those people were made from the dust of the ground. And we know that the black gene is a superior gene. So that makes us the original Hebrew. We're the original people of God, and we're also the original Egyptians. So we were either with God or we were doing our own thing, but we are the original people, period. And then we traveled to other places but never got credit for it. And then everybody else comes after us.
Do you know what a Japanese person would say if I asked them who they believed the chosen people of God are?
No, what would they say?
The Japanese people.
Well, good. They should feel that way.
I like to answer that question.
Yes, please, by all means.
I believe that God's chosen people are the ones that accept him. So that exceeds color and all that kind of stuff. Like you said, no color. It's the people that accept his invitation. And that's all across the
in the days of the new. In the days of the new.
That's a perfect answer also, because all answers are
in the days of the new. In the days of the new.
But
in the days of the new.
All I'm saying is, like, right now, when that question's asked, every answer is acceptable, because to every country, every person, every respective patriot of that country or that religion, they are the chosen people. God.
But
you know what's funny? But the funny thing about that is,
you understand. So it's not.
If God created, I'm not saying for people, I believe God created man and woman. If it's already been stated that the black gene from Africa is the master gene, nobody else comes in front of that. So when God created people on earth first, and he made his chosen people from those first people he created, they were black. Or people of color, because I'm black, y'all black, and we all got these variation skin tones. And if you go to that part of Eastern Africa, you're gonna see some black folks darker than me.
Yeah, you ain't dark, Richard. I don't know what you be tripping off of.
I mean, yeah, the Sudanese people are darker than me, but the brown-skinned black folks in Ethiopia and Eritrea and all that, they look like y'all. So we have these two
lighter than us.
That's true too.
Look at Morocco's
Yeah.
soccer team.
Yeah,
Sure.
and look at Egypt.
But I'm talking about where life started on that eastern part of Africa, where life started in the Garden of Eden, and then they branched out to all the parts of Africa. And
Right.
the rest of the world.
I get it, and they mentioned Ethiopia as far as the rivers and like different places that the rivers ran through. But to me, it is those who accept him, because once it was all Jews, and then, as you know from reading, then it was extended to non-Jews or Gentiles. So it was anybody
right, in the New Testament, right? But originally, it wasn't even Jew.
That it was people from different cultures and different backgrounds, which was like a huge thing of dynamite in the church. Like, what? When he was showing, them like kill and eat, with the stuff to eat, and they thought it was just about food, but in actuality, when he was showing them that, he was saying that this is for other people and cultures too. And I wouldn't tell you to eat anything, and don't say anything that I made is not clean.
Right.
But it goes in the Old Testament. They don't talk about Jews in the Old Testament. It says Hebrew. It says Hebrews. So there were certain black people who were the original Hebrew, and then other black people were not Hebrew. And that's why when Joseph got threw out the family and they threw him away, and he intermingled with those, quote, black folks in Egypt. So that's how black Hebrews was able to intermingle with other black people, because they were all black. But here's something else that people cannot dispute. The word Africa comes from a Roman that renamed the Garden of Eden.
I believe it.
He renamed it Africa.
Research it. Yeah.
So,
but I think sometimes we get, and listen, we have our own reasons, because like you were saying, we have I guess the carnal part, and then we're talking about spiritual. But I think that sometimes it can be a distraction. How, not that it's not important, but I think that it's a distraction for some black people, because like you were saying, the original and first, whatever God chose,
right.
like that we get to coin something, but it does not mean just because you are black or you have that gene that you have a past. You still have to be open and accept God in order for him to accept you. He's offering us this, it's free to everybody. But if you don't take it, I don't care what kind you are, then you lost.
But hold on. For righteousness' sake, you are absolutely right. But what's the interesting thing about this? When you go and they say, what's the greatest commandments, they ask Jesus. Jesus said to love God and to love thy neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
When you can't love thy neighbor as being your equal because you think you're superior to thy neighbor, and we all know, we as black folks, well, at least on this panel, we don't think we don't think we're superior to anybody, but we definitely ain't inferior to no one else either.
And I think we get that posture from as far as our history, meaning of our ancestors, because when you've been beat down so much and told that you are nothing, then you have to come back with the opposite of that in order to survive. I think that most of us have like an even keel of who we are. I'm not saying I'm not better than you. I'm not saying that I am better than you, but I am great. And you're not better than me or us. So, but some people take that and then they run and they want to start saying that we're gods and all that kind of stuff. And I'll be like, okay, but we're not God. You know what I'm saying? You gotta like keep it where it needs to be, because we are not better than anybody else, but we're not shit either. And nobody else is better than us.
And this is why we had to have everything that just was said and done said, because I'll bring this back around to the 14th Amendment. If the 14th Amendment didn't include the children who were born on American soil, aren't we just trying to discard them?
No.
Because we're pushing them into an area and a space where there is no nationality, there is no country that they can claim, and they don't even fall under our jurisdiction.
That's why they had the 14th, so that the free black people who obtained freedom through the Civil War, along with the already free black people, that's why it said you're going to get citizenship and you're going to get due process, because you have no political allegiance to nowhere else, and therefore your allegiance is naturally to this country.
I'm not. So I haven't been like arguing against your points. All I'm saying is, how do you prosecute a person? Better yet, let me state it like this.
No, you said it correctly.
Well, I'll come back to that point in a second. A better question is, if a person has never lived in a country, has never established any form of domicile or has any connection or ties to another country, how then can we say? But they've been in the United States. They were born here.
Yeah, that sounds like if you deported a black person.
Yeah.
Where would you send them?
And look, in today's society,
because
they just send people anywhere, which is horrible.
But where would you send them?
The 14th Amendment gave black people citizenship. We're here legally.
Right. I'm saying, what if you revoked a black person's citizenship, which I've been told citizenship is revocable? Where would you send him or her?
I don't know, but I know the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment was for black people to get citizenship and to get due process, and for no one else. That was just for black people. But I didn't hear nobody black last night. What's this? Yeah, on June 30th, last night. And when I heard certain white people who are Republican talk about it, they're not talking about it with the sincerity of people being of equal rank. They're talking about it from a political perspective to help them win, to say that this court decision was wrong. And that's why I said Justice Thomas, he's never come out in none of his opinions or legal briefs talking about black folks in a positive light. But this time he had to. Not because he wanted to, because he didn't want to. He had to acknowledge what it was intended for. And it wasn't intended for nothing else.
But then he would need to be clear, because he's also said that the Constitution was colorblind.
What I'm talking about.
Yep.
He can keep his 2 pennies. Look, he can keep his 2 pennies, especially with what they work today. I don't need him coming up saying anything.
Listen, so you caught him being inconsistent. Okay. Because I told you when I saw that statement by him, I said, I'm saving that. Because he'll never say anything on behalf of black people ever again for the rest of his tenure.
And we don't even need him to.
I have the last word. I'm not going to defend him. Only thing I'm going to say is this.
What? Oh my goodness.
What did he say?
I said, is this a pubic hair on this Coke can?
Mikey!
So the only thing I'm going to say is this.
Ask Anita Hill
about Justice Thomas. I know where he's coming from, even though he became successful, the opposite of that. But I know what he's trying to say. Because, I looked at his family. His family does not curse him. He still tries to take care of his nieces and I think his nephew. I think one of his nephews was out of control, and he tried to step in there and be a role model. Okay, so his family has not cursed him, and I've always waited to see his family come out and say we can't stand him. We're going to reject his Clarence Thomas. We're going to reject his family membership. They've never done that to this day that I'm aware of.
I hope not. And
I don't wish that on anybody, not even Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead then.
Yeah, no, I would
Hey,
hope that they
that's
would.
funny thing you say about Trump, because I copied this picture because Melania Trump said something. I said, well, I agree with her on this. And it was about the transgender issue. She says, America, this is her saying this. This ain't Trump. She says, we can support the rights of LGBTQIA plus community and also protect opportunities for female athletes. Respect everyone and keep girls' sports fair. Both ideals are essential. Now, she said that, and she's a foreigner, and she said that so easily. She said that so easily. Now, Trump could have said that too. He'll never say that. But, you know, she's saying, hey, you can respect gay people and still respect girls' sports too. Why can't we do both? Yeah, I'm just saying. I said,
No, I agree with both of
I'm
y'all.
trying to say, but I couldn't say it the way she said it. The way
Honestly, I've always looked at her as a victim, but okay, she like this.
all right. Okay.
Help.
So here is the part where I believe, and I think Lynn, you started talking about this a little bit, but I believe that this is people are celebrating this ruling too early, and I say that for several different reasons. I don't know if y'all remember where I read that after the Supreme Court makes a decision that Congress can implement new laws or essentially reverse, but I don't want to say reverse, but they can push back on the Supreme Court justices, right? And implement new laws to further the cause that somebody might have pushed out. So this is about to become the next Roe v. Wade. This is going to be a long game removal. It's not like this is a year and a half that it's been pushed. Like
I was about to say, how much time we got left? I need a big old giant hourglass to just turn those. Like his time is winding down. Thank you, Jesus, because good Lord.
Yeah, but and I agree with what Mikey's saying in a bit. A bit. I don't know if they're going to try to push it directly to statehood, because that would probably fail a bit, except for in southern states, right? But they are going to shoot themselves in the foot. But they're going to try and figure out a way before Trump is either impeached, expires, or leaves office to start down the road and the path of not only reversing this ruling, but also completely obliterating the 14th Amendment at this point.
No, I don't think it'll get to that. I do believe that there may be some more jostling and jockeying to get some kind of changes made. But, and we're coming up on
November.
If you think about no. You think about two years ago, there was a certain president who dropped the ball in a debate.
Okay.
And I've had many discussions where people told me, well, you could have put this person in, you could have put that person in, you could have put the The truth is, time.
Yeah.
There's no time. I just heard yesterday that the president is thinking about having, for the first time ever, an RNC prior to the midterm.
Oh, yeah. He's planning on it already. Right. He's already this is the very first time. Is it going to be at the White House? What do you say?
No. It's going to be at a city. I forgot what city. I think in Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah.
But it's going to be somewhere. It's going to be like a rally, whatever. Yeah. But this is like FIFA, World Cup. You down 2 goals. You got 81 minutes left. You're not winning.
Extra time.
You're not winning. Even with extra time, you're not winning. You know, you can fight, you can do this, you can hem, you can haul, but sometimes it just comes down to looking good.
Yeah.
to
Thank
his base.
you.
And that's all he has, in my opinion, left right now to look good to his base and say, "Hey, I made the promise, and I gave it my all."
Look, shout out to Louisiana when I say this, baby, because when he is out of office, that's gonna be a whole new game, new day, because the shenanigans that he is about to come into from all of his behavior and choices, that is going to be a very tight what do you call it? Woven web.
Really? Well, I tell you what. This country is so divided.
But not right now because of the World Cup. We all together now.
But you know what? Here's the problem. Half of white America hates the other half of white America.
That's the truth.
If black folks are arguing with other black folks, whatever. We've been doing that from day one. But when white folks can't
white folks hating white folks and want to just, that's not new. I wish they would. That's a big lie.
Okay, great point. Great point. That's a point.
We just so are they. It's human nature. Look at the stats.
You're right. But you know what? Even though righteously you're right, when I'm looking at this from a common sense factor, the only time I've seen white people dismantle other white people outside the Vietnam War was the Civil War.
Well, so, you ain't looking. They trifling every day too.
Okay. No, I didn't say they weren't trifling, but at this extent. But this 4th of July situation, where we were supposed to have this, national celebration where everybody, regardless of your race.
Oh, the state fair? You talking about the
state fair? Whatever you want to call it, the state fair.
Where there's no queue necessary. You can just walk right up and get on the Ferris wheel.
Take it to the stage, front row.
He's so convenient.
As far as being human, I wasn't just a blanket statement against it. I was talking about being human and being, doing wrong things.
But what I'm saying is when white people as a whole can't come together, all of them come together. If black folks say, hey, we ain't come to the 4th of July, this celebration of 250 years, we ain't thinking about you, nobody cares. But when white people as a whole, when they cannot come together, they can't put aside their political differences and come together to celebrate the empire that they did any trick in the book to create, when they can't come together on the 4th, this Saturday, if it's as bad as the media is proclaiming it's going to be, that a lot of people are not.
I see what you're saying.
I'm
picking up on what you're putting down.
Okay, so go ahead, Mikey. I mean,
I'm listening.
No. I'm saying I'm hearing what you're saying. I didn't think about it like that, but I see what you're saying.
People cannot come together to
with
celebrate.
The World Cup going on, it seems like everybody gonna be hooked up.
Well, okay.
Because if you've noticed, since the World Cup has been, he's been silent about immigrants and all of that kind of stuff.
Because you know what? This is wow. And I don't want to say the World Cup is more dominant than the Pope because he went against the Pope. But I don't know.
Oh, it is for sure. They made slaves build an arena in the middle of the desert. Yeah, he's more powerful than the Pope. Football runs this place.
The FIFA World Cup has the most powerful sports, probably more powerful than the Olympic Committee. So Trump doesn't want to go against that. And then some of those leaders of these countries are probably saying Trump, hey, my people over in the country, don't act up.
Look, and don't forget they gave him that award, that peace award.
Yep.
Remember?
He gotta behave. I'm finna go straight to that pool and cut up. He gotta behave.
That's right.
He can't. We out at the store. Mama can't yell at me too loud.
Yeah.
That's why I said July 4th. For 250 years, through hook and crook, no matter about how many enslaved black folks, broken treaties with Native Americans, told the Mexicans they didn't speak Spanish good enough, we taking the Southwest. It doesn't matter. You took Hawaii, you jumped on the Alaskans. It doesn't matter. For 250 years, somehow through hook and crook, you kept the empire together. If y'all can't put your political differences aside and come together, even though you have this person in the White House, y'all can't come together? You can't? Y'all cannot come together for 200.
I do too.
I think they will.
Okay.
It'll be fake and phony, but I think they will.
But when some of the music artists said, "Oh no, I'm not coming to this state fair,"
there was a list of has-beens.
Yeah. Like, who is it? The village person?
Because he can't even command
the village person.
He can't even command anybody that's, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, or Lady Gaga. He can't even command that kind of roster.
No,
I think Bad Bunny's available. Bad Bunny, you can call it.
Who's gonna be Millie? I had to go back and figure out which one of them was dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Is it Millie or is it Vanilla?
Yeah.
And of course, what's his name? Ice Baby. He's gonna say that.
His real name something Van Winkle.
Yeah. Something. Yeah. But then
5.0.
It's proposed like it's a bipartisan, nonpartisan event, and then as soon as you say okay, I'll do it.
He can't even get KT in the Sunshine Band. They like,
and the truth is, it's a Trump event.
Probably,
and people are like, the money ain't worth it because I'm gonna be what's her name? K Michelle? Not K Michelle.
I know who you talking about. I know because she got a beautiful voice.
Chrisette
Michelle, yeah.
Remember her?
She ain't been.
Ain't nobody seen her since the first. She did the inauguration.
When was that?
For him in 2016.
Yeah, 26. It was a long time.
Where Chrisette Michelle at?
She ain't even been back.
She was hot.
She was
hot. And they said, come on, Chrisette. Come and sing for the president. And that's it.
She was like, I need my check. And they
she
was like,
she on a milk carton. She on a milk carton, oil barrel. I don't know what she on. But
if the U.S. cannot come together, like I said, if black folks said, hey, for these 250 years, we ain't always had our freedom and blah, 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 we ain't coming, that can be expected.
Yeah. We say that every year, by the way. And now that we got Juneteenth. Right. Like we already had our 4th of July.
And then because so many of our family members and ancestors, whatever you want to say, were on the front line and served for the country, all that stuff is out because this ours too. But like you say, where are you sending us? This is where I live.
Well, if white America,
we've been here longer than a lot of them.
Yeah, don't even talk about because all of us are, have those native roots too. So we would here.
97%.
If white America cannot come together on the 4th, and it's going to be broadcast. So if he says, "Hey, we had the state fair," and
you talking about his event
for July 4th? Yeah. So if he says,
his event
for July 4th,
showing up to that event,
right? So when they show the picture of the event, he says, "Hey, we had 2 million people," and you're like, so when you said on your inauguration on the first time you had all these millions of people, you're a lie. And he said, no, that's just the media being negative towards me. Okay, but now you do that same stunt all over again.
Yeah, he was talking about he had more people than Obama, and then they were like, no, this was how many people? The drone showed this many for you.
But you can't tell.
Right. Because Rich, we already know who all gonna be over there. So ain't nobody going over there.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, the first time you may pull it off. That's like telling the woman, "Well, I wasn't me the first time." Now the second time you tell that same lie, no, it was your ass. So this is the 4th of July. Listen to this. I'm not even white. 250 years you have kept this empire through hook and crook, regardless of what political party the president belonged to. You've kept the empire going, and y'all can't
on top, global power.
Yeah.
Listen,
so you cannot. Go ahead, Mike.
When the king begins to tax the vassals to the length of making $1 billion in 1 year, that empire is going to have to fall.
1.4 billion.
1.4 billion in a year.
And count.
It just came out this afternoon. It's more than that. It's almost 8.
I knew that was under. But 1.4 is enough.
Wait, what's that 1.8 billion for again? What's that again?
How much he's enriched himself.
Don't forget, remember that phrase, that story about the emperor has no clothing or whatever. That dude, that's who he is. And
he is strutting down the street butt ass.
Yeah,
ain't nobody saying nothing.
And it's a shame, but the way it sounds like how you guys are speaking right now, it's like he has been responsible for the last 250 years, and he has not.
No, but what he is. Go ahead, Rick.
It's a symbol of it.
Yeah,
Because
he's absolutely that
Sure.
symbol.
of all the lies and mistruths that he told you back in 2015, I'm not giving you my damn taxes, and I don't pay taxes. I don't care how you feel about it. And I'm a businessman. I ain't giving up my business interests, and I'm gonna run this government like a business.
But Richard, then he did say after the audit of his taxes, I'm going to show you my taxes.
And
Right.
That was one of his answers.
And Mitt Romney, my boy Mitt Romney, told
was
us
the only one who was
he
like,
ain't showing you nothing.
and Mitt was like, and I'm out. Because I ain't dealing with this bull right here. I mean, the Mormon was like, you know what?
Because he's a traditional classical. This is so crazy. He's a traditional classical Republican from the Reagan Bush. When we couldn't stand Reagan and we couldn't stand Bush, the father or the son, and then come to find out these three white men was way better.
Like I said, we over there handing them peppermints like Michelle Obama now, serving them a plate at the TV.
And I still don't forgive the son for all that murder and mayhem with Saddam Hussein.
I'm like, y'all want ribs or chicken? Okay, because what is this?
Again,
Combo
this
plate.
is the conversation that I have to let play out, because when I hear him trying to argue for the 14th Amendment, I have to take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
He's not being.
He's lied. Right? Nothing that he's done and said has been for the people that he's done and said it for.
Jay Glass, when people like that start talking with his type of character and track record, not only can I not hear them, my utmost being repels them. I can't even fathom I can't even hear them. I'm waiting for the noise to stop because I know you finna lie. Been there, done that. Tattoo, t-shirt, no.
And you know what? With these midterms coming up, and it looks like, well, one poll tells you one thing, one poll tells you something else. The Democrats going to win, the Republicans going to hold. Nobody knows anything right now because the World Cup is dominating. In fact, the World Cup has the World Cup has told Jeffrey Epstein, take a step back. We running this shit. Okay, when we done, then you can come back with the aliens.
But they ain't gonna be back with that. We just saw that somewhere.
He'll be back at the end of the month.
Somebody was just tweeting that they were saying something about the World Cup, and he said, "What about the Epstein files?" It popped up somewhere.
They got bumped till next season.
It's jumped above the Epstein files. The World Cup.
And
Seated.
something else that I saw in the news was about, well, it was a story here. We actually missed it when they were talking about how the World Cup is such a huge distraction. And it was also a place where a lot of sex trafficking was going on.
And sex tourism too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's run by the same people who are part of the Epstein class.
Yep, that's exactly.
Conspiracy idea, or is that the truth? Is that a conspiracy or the truth?
No, they were interviewing some of the people that had escaped.
Because everything is sex trafficking now.
We are in the hub.
A woman on the corner on the stroll is being trafficked.
Right. Oh, yeah.
She's in that stat, even though she might be a free agent, no pimp, no nothing. She's in the stat because she's a sex worker.
Yeah.
Sex worker, yeah. But again, just like we were talking about the Black American, Black experience versus the alphabet community, respectfully, sex trafficking and sex working may be adjacent. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The problem is what it is, but there are levels to different ones. You know, like that trafficking, because we're talking about children, boys and girls, all that stuff, and of course women and the sex working, sex workers. Some of them, not all of them, are just doing this because
They got bills.
They got bills. It ain't like, but that's still different from you going to the strip club to work because you trying to get through college.
And some people trying to call strippers sex workers and
lap dances but please know that trafficking is more than likely going on in that damn strip club too.
No.
Because, those people that come in there and just take over your bag and everything, they be nice to you, and before you know it, they got you.
Hey, here's something about illegal immigrants, undocumented. People trying to come to feed their families and come to the country illegally. But in that massive movement, going through those underground tunnels at the border and all that, are women being sex trafficked.
Hell yeah.
And we've always minimized that. And my problem was, you should never minimize that. And this is why I said to the Democratic Party, you should never minimize that. Just like with the Me Too movement. I always said, look at each case from a woman, look at each case, but just don't group them all together and say, if a woman says he did this, didn't automatically agree with the woman. Because all these people who are talking about the Me Too movement, I've yet to hear them say, we're going to go inside these state penitentiaries, state prisons, and all the men who've been raped. That is sexual assault. But I don't hear you going to those prisons and saying, have you been raped? Have you been victimized by another inmate? Yes, I have.
And prisoners get sex trafficked as well.
Yes, they do.
But it's okay because they deserve it.
They get transferred to another prison to get assaulted.
It's fine. They're not real people. They're prisoners.
Yeah.
So you can just,
they're not. They can't consent to anything. So
who cares?
So I think a lot of times when
who's trying to give them rights? Am I right? Like,
so my thing is, a lot of times when I'm saying things and I may come across a little vicious, I'm like, well, wait a minute. If you're going to come for this particular person, then I want you to come and bring it all and get it all right. So, when these women say, oh, Dr. Cosme, he did all this wrong, whether he did it wrong or right, I'm not retrying the case. But I'm saying, okay, since you want to open up all this, then I want you to go to these state prisons and maybe the federal prisons as well and find out from these men, have you been raped? Have you been sexually harassed? Do you feel scared?
What's the resolution there?
For those that will admit it, and then you got, like they say, just like with the women, how people say, then you can have those people that just step up and say that they were for whatever reason.
That's a great point. But my thing is, if you send me to prison, But wait, if you send me to prison for robbing the liquor store for $20, I think of St. Louis when I say that, robbing the liquor store for $20, and you send me to prison, and he said, we're going to rehabilitate you. Well, hold on, I'm in the California mindset about the rehabilitation, because in the state of Missouri, I don't know if they're trying to rehabilitate you or not. But you go to prison because you've broken the law, and then when you go inside the prison, they break all kinds of laws when they rape you. So you were a criminal, and now, because you're a criminal, we don't respect you anymore, so we're going to break some laws and let you get raped. It's the same thing for Jeffrey Dahmer. That man should still be alive. They put him in general population.
Wait a minute.
Out of here.
People like to call it karma, but like in the Bible, in the Bible they say whatever a man sow it, that's what he gonna reap. So everybody knows that prison, baby, when you go in there, even if you ain't did them, but especially if they know what you did when you got in there. If it was eating people and raping kids and beating on women, they coming for you.
But Stephanie,
I'm trying to figure out how we even got here.
Listen, all I'm simply saying is, look, we can go back to the 14th Amendment and look at how it was originally written. But when you say, hey, in my opinion, we look at this in a very narrow view because it was for Black people. And now you want to really highlight what Black people went through in this country. Then you say, well, no, we don't want to really highlight that. But yet you let me contact Benjamin Crump because I was pulled over illegally and had my head beat in, and he sees a quick payday. He'll bring up the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment like that. Particularly the 14th Amendment about due process and how I wasn't given due process when the cop went upside my head because that was for Black people. And so to get back to the 14th Amendment, the judges said, hey, 5-4, if you come over here illegally and pop out a child, that child gets U.S. citizenship. But that's not what it was intended for.
Okay, hold on. Technically, what's her name? Melania is an illegal.
Yeah.
She came over here on she overstayed her visa and she worked off the books. If you do that, you are no longer eligible for citizenship because you have skipped the line. Barron Trump is a citizen.
An
Why?
anchor baby.
He's
His
an
dad.
anchor baby.
Yeah.
And you know what, Mike?
Him and his illegal mama need to get out of here.
Hey.
Well,
Since-
man, yeah.
Since we calling people leave,
Look,
get your
Oh,
bring
man.
your illegal wife, and he harboring an illegal person, so he can go to jail for that.
Mikey.
His first wife popped out 3 babies while she was not a citizen.
That's what I'm saying. This is what they literally do it all the time. They're only saying that because they are racist. Like there is
Hold on a
no
second. Wait a
law behind any of this. This is pure xenophobia.
Wait a minute. If what you say is to be accurate, I'm going to stay consistent and say, well, then that's wrong. But the fact that I'm saying, for my argument's sake, that the 14th Amendment for birthright citizenship was for Black folks, whether they were free or not, coming out of the Civil War. I'm not budging from that. Just like the 13th doesn't say that it was for Black people, but we know the 13th Amendment ended slavery for Black folks.
But the 14th Amendment was to establish a multiracial free
No, it wasn't.
society. Yes,
No,
it was
not.
Yes,
No, it was not. Because
you can you argue with Ellie Mistel because he is the Supreme
he got
Court
his ass checked last night. I watched his ass talk to that white boy, Cuccielli. He got checked because hold on.
No, my guy don't lose. What you talk about? What you talking about?
I love Ellie Mistel, but he got caught this time. He got caught. I watched it. So sometimes you can be a brilliant lawyer, but every now and then you'll get caught. The 14th Amendment was established to repudiate the Dred Scott case. And the Dred Scott was saying that Black folks didn't have federal citizenship. Because in some states, Black folks had
now you slipped up because there was no such thing as federal citizenship.
National
Because there was no such thing as national citizenship back then. You were a citizen of your state.
Hold on.
Or Commonwealth.
That
didn't come up until later.
No. Listen to me, Mikey.
I'll tell you.
I'll
look it up.
Said through the Judge Tanner that Black folks don't have citizenship through the Constitution of America. That's what he said. And therefore, Dred Scott didn't get his freedom. That's why they lost that case. And then when they lost the case, Dred Scott, I think the one white man bought Dred Scott's freedom. But then they came back on the 14th to repudiate that case after the Civil War and say, Black folks, you're getting citizenship to this country. And by giving you citizenship, now you will have due process. Now, this is clear. But the judges took took a more broader view. But make no mistake about it, that 13th and 14th and 15th were for us. Nobody else. So when James, I'm sorry, go ahead, James. Go ahead.
No, but I was about to say, like I always say, if we're chopping the Constitution up in that fashion, that the only logical pathway to continue that is to say all the other aspects of the Constitution that weren't written for us don't apply to us.
No, because the 13th was to take us out of slavery. The 14th was to give us citizenship and to give us due process to be not discriminated in them southern states because they had initiated the Black codes. And then the 15th was to show that Black men would.
Let's see if you Ferguson. Separate but equal.
Wait, no. Wait, before we get to that, the 15th Amendment was to give Black men the right to vote because the southern states were now allowing Black men to vote.
But so Abraham Lincoln had already established that Union soldiers who were Black that fought for them had to earn the right to vote. But what I'm saying, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm saying taking that rationale the way you're taking it is very similar to saying that the portions of the United States Constitution that were not written for Black people or the ancestors or the children or the descendants of the enslaved Africans doesn't apply.
It do apply because the 14th made it apply.
But when you consider the 14th and you add that parallel, then you open it up to everyone because it's not as specific like you pointed out with the 15th Amendment, right?
Right.
And that's what I'm saying, right? I'm not directly arguing against the origin of the 14th Amendment.
Wait a minute.
I'm
Right.
simply saying that
There's
a
two parts.
continuation. Yeah.
But wait a minute. This is critical because they don't talk about this on TV. There's two parts that's critical to the 14th. First is that U.S. citizenship that was just for Black folks after the Civil War. That due process, because Black folks were going through holy hell with the Black codes down south, says you cannot deprive someone of these things, life, liberty, and blah, blah, blah. And that was intended for, listen, in that section of the 14th, that was intended for Black folks, but it had to be opened up to everybody else too. So
Exactly.
I see the point. Like, okay,
So
yeah.
then
on
what
that,
are we
That's-
arguing about? You
No,
just said
about-
it. You just
No.
said it.
no. The first part of the 14th about the citizenship was for Black people only. For the
No,
free Black
again, the foundation or the aspect as to why the 14th Amendment and who it should have applied to, I'm not pushing back on you with that. I'm simply saying because it's written the way it's written, they
Right.
could have been more specific, like the 15th Amendment, but they didn't make it specific on purpose. And since it did not have that specificity in it, it's open to everyone, right? So I can't say
And they would have been right back to, and they would have been right back to square one as soon as the Dutch came, and then as soon as the Spanish came, and then as soon as the Irish came, and as soon as the Italians came. They would have had to do it all over again because those people were not white. They were Italians. They were Irish. They were Spaniards. They were not called white people yet. So they would have had to do it for every group of immigrants.
Wait a minute. That's not. Wait a minute.
They're going to.
Hold on. No.
They got drafted by
What
Team
were
White.
they beforehand?
Wait a minute.
Hey, look, you know what they were beforehand? They were immigrants.
yeah,
When
they
you ask-
progressive
People
game
in
white
America,
America.
Then they got drafted by the white team.
Yep.
What you say, man?
People in America.
They
When did slavery end in America? They're going to tell you the 13th Amendment in 1865. It doesn't say slavery ended for Black people. It says slavery. But it everybody knows that represents Black folks being held as slaves. Because they had to do the 14th to give Black folks citizenship across all the states embedded in the Constitution because we were considered, as Wanda said earlier, we were considered property. Well,
Actually,
the other groups of people who may have come over here were never considered property.
But when you put yourself under jurisdiction, you are still technically property. Just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, I'd have to respectfully disagree. So when people talk about the other ethnic groups outside of England coming to America, because the Italians caught hell, the Irish caught hell, but they were never considered property. Black slaves were considered chattel. They were considered property, and even then, they were not even considered whole. Go ahead.
Let the life insurance person step to the mic, or the insurance person. Were the people that Richard just spoke of, were they ever covered as property on the property and casualty policy? No, they were not. Only the black slaves.
Oh, you're talking about the immigrants?
They lost the slave, be like, I lost money, and be like, you ain't.
Right, but I was talking about the slaves Richard was talking about. People try to say there were other slaves, there were other. No, even my 7-year indentured servant was not my property. He could not be collateral on a bank loan like my black folks out there, out back.
And their kids.
Yeah.
And whenever I felt like it, I could kill one.
Right.
And say, hey, this one was trying to escape, and I can make a claim on my insurance policy and get some paper.
And you know, Mikey, me and Lynn, when we agree, hit the calendar because we argue left and right about every fucking thing.
I knew it was a full moon last night.
Well, if we don't prescript shit. So when we agree on something, you know, it must be horrendous. It must be the end of the time period.
Can I get one thing in agreements from all you guys, because you guys are all my elders here.
Agreements? No.
Yeah.
And you ain't gotta say it like that.
I mean,
I just turned
the elders.
I'm your peer. Hello.
Go ahead, Mikey. I love it.
What's up, fellow kids? Aren't you glad the socialists are here to save the day? I told you we were coming. I told you we were coming. You ain't got to worry about the Democrats. You ain't got to worry about the Democrats sitting
3-0.
around doing nothing no more. We got
Mikey, but Mikey, you hear what James said earlier.
The millennials are here, baby. We're
Mikey,
here to
you
save
hear
the
what
day.
James said earlier. Because he jumped
what
on
he
me
said?
earlier when I talked about the Democratic Socialists. He jumped on
I
me.
got
earlier.
something. Wait, I got look about. Okay, so here in Houston, right? We got a bunch of Latino brothers and sisters. So we be USA, but we be like, ooh, SAI, ooh, SAI, ooh, So anyway, that's USA in Spanish. But yeah, we got it going on. We can do all of that.
I didn't jump on you. I was talking about Mike Johnson.
Right, Mike. Mike said,
"Can you imagine?" This will tell you the world's coming to an end. Can you imagine a World Cup of the United States versus Mexico? Our country would go up in smoke.
You know what? I don't know if they're on the same side of the bracket, but I'd like to.
That would be a hell of a game because everybody from Mexico
would be a race riot. It'd be a race riot.
Had on their Mexico jerseys.
We know what to do.
We
can't lose.
Because one thing we know how to do together is party. So that would be That would be a license for cerveza, fajitas, everything, barbecue. Everybody would be like, they wouldn't care they don't care which side you go on either. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be like, no, I'm Mexico, no, I'm USA. It's gonna be like, hey, can I have some? Let me, go to Papacito's.
Hey, but if that was to happen, I don't know how the chart is, but if that was to happen,
take a look.
My God, it would be the most watched World Cup. It would. I see violence coming after that game. Actually, during the game,
I'm talking.
There would be violence.
If it wasn't for FanDuel, nobody would know World Cup was even in town. I'm not playing. Y'all some betting fools because don't nobody care about soccer. I played soccer. No one cared. No one cared about soccer back then. They don't care now. They don't even know if they have an MLS team in their city. They don't even know what MLS stands for.
We got
the Dynamo and we got somebody else coming.
Americans hate soccer. They mock it. They laugh at it. It's like tennis gets more viewership than soccer. It is the biggest sport. And then here go everybody with their little fake self on the bandwagon. I can't stand y'all acting like they understand the positions and stuff. All the commentators.
Hold on, Mikey, I don't understand soccer. Mikey, you're right about that. I don't understand.
Wait a minute. I have something to say. Excuse me, Mikey.
Yes,
this is a learning experience. It's bringing the world together. And now with I use my time.
Hey, you know what? They can end up playing each other. They keep winning. Mexico's got to beat England. Then they got to beat Brazil. And the U.S. has to beat Belgium.
And listen, it is. Y'all don't understand the way that this city is set up. It's going to be all kind of restaurants and food sales. It's going to be like a big picnic. I'm telling you, because everybody is ready to party, especially after they pissed on Cinco de Mayo, had everybody scared to go out. Everybody like, I'm telling you, it's gonna be like a big party, and they're gonna be scared, thinking, "Can we really come out?"
Listen, can you imagine the U.S. playing Mexico and Mexico saying, "If we win, you have to grant a sign amnesty to all." Hold
on. Let me set the scene. Let me set the scene. You got my girl Claudia Sheinbaum. She just walks up to President Trump in a black pantsuit. Mr. Presidente, how about we make this a little interesting? And he's over here. Got 16 oxygen machines keeping his little dumbass alive.
And why he getting a colonic? Yeah.
just reeking of the worst sewers you've ever smelled in a hot June evening down at the bottom of a hill. What are you talking about? What are you talking? How about we play for asylum? Boom.
Like a
zoom in shot. Boom. Zoom in shot. It's the scoreboard.
I tell you what. If that was to hypothetically happen, Mexico would beat the U.S.
They'd be playing.
I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm talking about the Monstars from Space Jam will come out from Mexico. I'd be like,
Jay Glass,
oh!
here.
Don't let the game be 2-1 Mexico. Oh, we need extra time. I can hear Trump now on the phone. We need extra time.
Stop the count.
I'll
Stop
get
the count.
11,000 more minutes.
Excuse me.
That would be great.
Excuse me.
Right.
But President
It'll
Trump
be-
will be asleep when that game is on. Please, I yield my time.
That'd be the
I'm
worst
not-
game of referee ever. Referees would have to leave the earth if they.
You have to helicopter them out of the arena.
It doesn't matter who would win.
Hey, the royal family of Saudi Arabia and all the Middle East would have to come to make sure everything stays peaceful.
CIA.
They probably say, "No, we
Oh,
ain't want
man.
this act. We got our
Yeah,
own
them
problem."
guys they'd have to referee in masks. All right, but let's knock out a quick round of horn. I gotta get upstairs and hang
Did
out
you
with
see
my.
our picks, Jay Glass? Were you able to pick a peek at our picks?
I not while I was on here. It didn't let me know.
I didn't
One
even
second.
know. See, that was a good.
Oh, okay. I'll have to share these next time. For sure. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I don't know why he went with that golden black bow tie, but okay. All right.
Huh?
The
Who you
golden
talking
black
about?
bow tie.
Oh, who else? Hold up. Let me see. What did I see here? Oh, here it is. Hold up. Who had on a golden black bow tie? Oh, that was our host.
With the most. Looking at.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll definitely share those. But let's hit around the horn real quick.
Iran. Final answer.
We will start. I know, right? We will start.
Yeah, what are we doing with it?
No yielding time. You have to talk, Mr. President.
All right,
We'll start here.
This has been an interesting conversation. The U.S. Supreme Court made a lot of decisions. Some we agree with, some we don't. And we always have to go back in time. Regardless of how far back we go, we have to go back in time to understand what the framers of the Constitution were framing, even though people like us were not even considered human beings. And then they tried to add us on later on without technically saying our name. So I'll say for Black America, don't scream just the 13th and 14th and 15th Amendment when it comes to police violence. We should be consistent and recognize that those three amendments for us to be included in this great country that has some tremendous character for us. So when we celebrate 4th of July, if you choose to celebrate it, just remember that every country has some good points, every country has some bad points. And overall, it's kind of like life. How do you approach life? Are you going to stay stuck in the negative? Are you going to look at the good and the bad and say, overall, I'll keep a positive attitude to keep trying to be my very best? God bless the USA. I'm Richard Lewis Brown, July 1st, 2026.
And I'm proud to be an American.
I like that song. I love that song. I love that song. Love that song.
Let me tell you something.
And
In
Hey, I love that song.
in 1988,
Uh-huh.
I was on the USS Capadonna in Italy, and we, without exaggeration, we sang that song. It was my first 4th of July out of the country.
Uh-huh.
We must have sang that song 200 times. I mean, it was a human repeat.
So was it like, please don't stop the music?
No, it was worse. It was worse
Wow.
than that. I mean, it was, and drunk people falling off the helicopter pad. It was just, it was just crazy. It was crazy. But I'll never ever forget that song because I've heard it more than any other song I've heard in my life. That song.
Live.
And I had never heard it before in my life
Oh man.
as a kid from West Philly.
It's a great song.
Look, I got listen. I'll tell you what. it felt really good to celebrate 4th of July in Italy.
Wow.
It felt really good because
Based.
I remember we went out one night on leave and we went to a nightclub. And there was a nice little mix of us, some white, some Hispanic, some black. And the bouncer said, no Americans. Guess who still tried to go in the club?
White guys.
The
And
brothers.
and he stopped them again. I said, no Americans.
And the brothers was like, all right.
And they started yelling for their rights. I'm like, no, we are not in America.
We not at home.
Why don't we just go down the street where they love some Americans with Zippo lighters?
I wish Wig were on here because he
You know?
was talking about doing your own thing. He was like, you don't have to be inclusive.
So to conclude my around the horn, I am not surprised by anything that's going on. I expect the status quo to remain with regard to birthright citizenship. It could be a very interesting fight back and forth, but in the end, I believe that is going to stay on the books the way it is. People are going to be frustrated by it and upset, but that's just the way it's going to be. And I remind people all the time, Viagra was a drug for your heart.
Yep.
The side effect helped out people with ED. So the ED people should be thanking the heart people. I'm out.
I heard that.
Well, what do I have to say? It has been interesting. I think we all need to learn that song. If not, just Google the words. But anyway, just thinking about what Richard said, or what we've been saying all along, how we were considered property. And then you tell people to get over stuff. Okay. But like that is just like when you think about that and listen, we say our ancestors and that's still us. Those are our people. That's us. Okay. And to know that there are still people that look at us to be less than human. That is still a reality. Not saying that we should dwell on it, but don't ever forget that. You cannot forget that. And at the same time, I praise and thank God that we have come away from that. That is so serious. And when you get the feeling that I'm getting in my chest and in my stomach right now to even think about that, that fuels me to continue to do what we're already doing, which is learning, whether it's about the elections coming up again. I'm so sick of these damn elections, but whatever, it's necessary. Or Mikey, about the World Cup, okay? But whatever. So don't let anybody tell you what you are, what you're not, and learn your history. And don't be ashamed if you don't know it. Just start learning it and move forward. Enjoy the world. Enjoy the people of the world. And God bless the USA. And I'm glad that He chose for me and my people to be born here, or to land here. Because like Lynn says, unless I was born in another country, there's no other place I will choose to be right now than right here. I would need to do my research and save a whole lot of money to go somewhere else to live. To visit is one thing. But yeah, how we always say, I'm going to Africa, I'm going to Belize, I'm going here. Okay, those can be vacation spots. But for right now, no disrespect, but I'm chilling until this next couple of years are up. I'm riding it out. Or we riding it out. That's
And
all. We hunkering down. We hunkering down.
We shall the- That one? Is that
Hey,
what
all of them.
Jesus.
All of them. And look, Jesus take the wheel and Jesus be a fence all around me every day. Look.
I'm climbing up.
Jesus.
Mikey, you better know some of them songs.
I know the songs, but my song, I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so.
Learned a lot from us. Okay.
Nihon desu.
Yeah.
Nihon desu ka. So I wrote a little thing here so I wouldn't interrupt. The 14th Amendment is very clear. If your mama had you while you were on our soil, our territories, or military bases, you was Yankee. There are 13 judicial districts. There are 7 Supreme Court justices. This is our problem. The court needs to be expanded and an independent commission to oversee finances and relationships. Term limits and financial disclosures are no longer optional. They're the overdue guardrails for a system that has been coasting on good vibes since forever. The Dems won't rock the court. The GOP won't rock the court. But there is another Skywalker.
You didn't say Republicans.
I said GOP.
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Make them earn your
Is
fear.
it the
Don't give it.
independent SIP that you speak of? Is that who you speak of? The independent SIP? Or the Democratic Socialists? Which
We're here now.
Okay.
How y'all doing? And
He's an alien. No.
and the crazy thing is, all you had to do to win an election was listen to the people. What a radical notion. Make them earn your fear. Don't give it away for free.
You wrote all of that in that short time.
Oh, that's him. That's his writing.
You typed that. You didn't write it. You typed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wrote in cursive.
I can write in cursive, but it's messy because everyone requires ink, and then they want you to write in cursive, and then it smears. You know what I mean?
Better ink pen.
That's the point of cursive. So you can say, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Plausible deniability. The font.
Well, I've got a pretty simple around the horn.
One question: where's stir fry? Because I'm scared you was plotting on stir fry. He got 2 cats. What's going on? Where your cat?
I don't know if I don't know if she got let back in from the garage from earlier yet or not.
Oh, okay.
When I get back from my next trip,
You won't even leave me alone.
I'm gonna have another cat, and that cat's name is gonna be Noodles.
Okay, so wait, is it
stir fry and
addition to
noodles?
stir fry?
Yeah.
Or are you getting rid of stir fry? Because you know y'all got a little hate.
No. I'm gonna keep stir fry.
Okay.
You gonna call it ramen noodles or noodles?
Just noodles. Just noodles.
Hibachi. Hibachi.
Stir fry noodles. So kind of piggybacking off of what Mikey was saying, radical idea is actually shaping up the country because of where we've been for the last year and a half, moving into the midterms. And that is, if these politicians that are representing your state or your area, whatever the case may be, aren't providing and doing what the people need them to do, get them out of there.
Bye.
Get them out of there. And I don't care what political party they're with. If they are not providing for the people, get them out of there. They're useless to us. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The American citizen, the average American citizen, has been caught up so far into the positioning and movement of our politicians being entertainment that they forgot that we employ them. And it's not the other way around. Exercise your votes. I'm about to go back on that. Exercising your vote. Don't vote party ticket. Vote for the best interest of the people in your area and yourself. And if you vote that way, more than likely, you're not going to vote for the person or the party that you think is representing you. Our president, at least, and I've just heard that it's increased. has enriched himself and his family at least $1.4 billion. We the people, by the way, are about to see a huge increase in healthcare after the midterms. In case y'all forgot what happened in the big beautiful bill.
Student
We
loans
the
dropped, didn't
people, they did. We the people are still experiencing at between 8 to 12% bills increase. We the people still haven't gotten gas down below $2 or even at $2.50. We're still in $3 and some change. As a matter of fact, I drove through Illinois a couple of days ago.
Apologies.
Yeah, I know. Premium gas is $5. It was $4.13 when I got to Kansas City. So to think that just because some things have come down that you should be able to breathe, because your take-home pay, your average pay still ain't keeping up with inflation at this point. We the people, by the way, your groceries are still up.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, I want to remind y'all of that. You need to be looking at the people who are going to actually work for your area. They should be asking us what they can do for us and not just relying on our votes at this point. They've shown us what they'll do with them. They're irresponsible. They're worse than children.
We sit on them.
Yeah.
Take them and sit on them so no one else can have them.
Yeah. This we're still dealing with the Epstein class, folks.
Yep.
And he was talking about Obama's birth certificate, and
So if nothing else, remember, we're still dealing with the Epstein class. We're still dealing with people who are protecting folks who have engaged in pedophilia, in which wherein our president spoke with another politician and said, "You are going to hurt my friends," because those are his friends.
That's Pandora's box.
Bye, Marjorie.
I just wanted to put that out there. Outside of that, the only thing I got left is I'm proud to be an American. That's gonna be playing in everybody's head from now on. That's hilarious. Listen, we have
Sing it with the country accent.
And then you gotta
I'm proud to be
I
an
love
American.
that song. I love that song. I love it. I love it.
America.
I am
That was one of
worn
my
out.
theme songs in my
Hold up.
But I'm planning on celebrating the 4th of July like I'm Frederick Douglass, except a little bit better. Don't worry about that. That's another lesson for another time.
What's that mean? How do you celebrate?
I'll be celebrating mine like James Baldwin.
Even better.
Look, I'll be celebrating mine like a black person on 4th of July allowed to eat vanilla ice cream.
There you go.
That's the only day you can eat it. That's the only day you can eat it.
Okay, but my thing is, see, this is another thing we're talking about, inclusion. What is so good about, other than Bluebell, which I learned when I got here? I learned at 26 years old. What is so good about vanilla ice cream?
It's the best ice cream.
Because we couldn't have
my favorite.
Huh?
French vanilla ice cream is my absolute favorite.
Vanilla bean.
Yeah. Unless
now listen, when y'all come here, we will treat you to some Bluebell vanilla ice cream.
They cleaned up that factory, right? They cleaned up that factory and everything, right?
Hell yeah, but look, because Peebly,
got the gloves out the trap.
Have y'all ever liked vanilla ice cream? Just plain vanilla ice cream?
Yeah, love it.
I had it when I was a kid.
That's
Actually,
because
you know
they
what?
said we couldn't have.
Hey, listen to this. So I had a great auntie in the country. I remember one summer, she took the ice, some salt, I think she had some milk.
Yep.
And she created it out of a wood churn.
Yeah.
Made ice cream.
Yeah, Uncle James in Chicago that used to do that.
Yeah.
It's just good.
How'd it taste, Richard?
Oh, I was eating it.
It
Oh,
I was
delicious.
eating it. I was eating it.
It was delicious.
It's absolutely
But
amazing.
I like chocolate. Oh, I like chocolate cookies, chocolate cake, chocolate ice cream.
But when
Rocky
y'all
Mountain.
come, listen, when y'all come here, we will treat you too.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to it now. 'Cause I'm gonna show up down there.
I'm gonna be like, oh,
I
wait,
used
this
to
good.
live with
I want to go to a Rockets game.
Well, we can do that too.
Wanna
Come
show-
on.
I got a
That's what I'm
friend.
trying.
Me and Jay Glass got a friend down in Houston. He's always telling me to come down there.
I'm trying to see KD play.
Oh, is that where Prentice is?
Yeah, that's where Prentice is.
Well, y'all
Okay.
need to bring it. Come on, haul ass. Come on.
All right.
I'm
Well,
gonna get.
that's it's
Yeah,
off
all
for
right.
free.
I got
That's
some.
all.
I got some. I got some auto repairs, and then I think me and the girls need to hit the road.
How many
Ooh.
girls you got?
No, my wife and daughter.
Oh, okay. You talking about the cats? I thought you said you
I'm
had
leaving.
one.
You had 'em
They punk asses ain't never getting taken to Texas. They can stay here forever.
You got
Never,
two
never.
cats and one.
2 cats and a dog.
That's what I thought. Oh Lord, okay, and a dog.
He's to protect the house. He's gonna hit his growth spurt anytime now.
What is it? A Chihuahua?
No, he's a a wolf. I think it's called a wolf.
Wow.
Yeah, he's real big. Let me see. I don't even know
You
if the
mean he
camera
in
can.
there chilling while the cat climbing the walls?
He's there he is, sleeping
man.
sideways like a little
He look
little
like a
burrito,
Aw.
looking like a fur burrito. Man, you're not looking tough at all right now.
Not at all. But I'm finna go up here and hang out with my sister and my niece. We will be live Friday and quite possibly Saturday. That's why I said I'll be celebrating like Frederick Douglass, because I'm gonna be talking to a lot of white people and asking them what is the 4th of July to the slave.
Oh shit! Oh
Hey.
goodness, that's terrible.
That's
Hey,
What?
put
That's
the, hey, put the streak. Put the streak
Just
on the
remember.
side.
Oh, wait, hey, hold on a second.
Put your
Hold on.
bottom
Just
lip
remember.
down and
Wait a
out.
minute. Hold on. When you're talking about that, what's the 4th of July to a slave? Just remember when they talk about the 13th and 14th and 15th Amendment. Just remember that. Just remember that.
Hey Jay Glass, when you do it, you gotta do it in a real deep, angry voice. Say
You gotta
no.
remember that.
What's the
He
4th of
wasn't
July?
angry. He
to a
wasn't
slave?
angry when he gave the speech. He was just stern.
But one quick point, something we didn't talk
But
about.
Lord,
tonight.
please bless and cover him while he is doing the
I'm gonna be in look. I'm gonna be in look.
Listen, the one thing we didn't cover tonight, the Supreme Court said that super PACs can now work
Yes,
with no cap limits
no cap.
with politicians or candidates. So when Mikey talks about these ultra wealthy getting out of control, starting in 2010 with the Citizens United, now they're completely
Uncapped.
That's why the DSA is the counter pick, because they don't take any PAC money at all. They can
And-
spend all they want and they're still going to lose their race, because people think it's disgusting to take millions of dollars to influence a choice. They hate it. If you expose it, they hate it. So
Mikey, we're gonna find out if those Democratic
DSA.
Socialists, if they can really run successfully in New York and then the lady in Colorado. We're gonna find out in November. We're
So-
gonna find out. It should be interesting.
With that being said, good people, thank y'all for coming out. God bless and
Right.
Good night.